type in the chat if you can actually hear me. I'll pull the chat over here. I've messed with my audio settings quite a bit in the last year, so I hope everyone tell me also if the levels are really bad, because I've been trying to compare to a bunch of different videos. Muted. I'm not muted, am I? Oh, sneak peek of, I really hope I didn't. Okay, yeah. I'm not leaking anything by showing all the windows on my screen. All right. Yeah, welcome to the live stream. I'm gonna try not to stare too much just directly into chat over here. But as usual, by usual I mean I haven't streamed in like a year, but as usual, behave yourselves. Be nice to everyone in the chat. Otherwise I'm gonna put on slow chat or like subscriber only mode or something like that, and I don't want to do that. Yeah, today we're gonna be doing some C game dev, which I already have up here, already running in the background. So I think first, basically, I'm just gonna show off. But oh wait, I'm very concerned. Are my levels like okay? Everyone, like, can you still hear me when I'm talking this way and this way? And my microphone is here. We're gonna do the typing test in a second. Where like, is this too loud? Putting you guys right above my mechanical keyboard. Yes, good. Okay. Yeah, no music. I'm not sure if I'm gonna have music this time. I feel like it is, you know, we're in a like a focused zone. I feel like music might be distracting. Some keyboard, levels good. I don't know. Okay, maybe I'll put on music. But I don't have a like a playlist picked out for this. Sorry, the stream is so low tech. I can't even find my playlists. There we go. Okay, now just tell me if the music is too loud and I'll turn it down. Yeah. Welcome everyone to the live stream. I'm gonna assume that everyone's seen my, oh wait, this is top chat, not live chat. Oh, sorry, I probably didn't see a bunch of people's messages. Lower music a little bit. Okay, thank you. I'm working off of my single AirPod in my ear here, like a real, like a radio host or something like that. Yeah, okay. I'm just gonna check everything is okay. I'm not leaking anything. My OBS is running. Okay. Yeah. I'm just gonna try not to stare too much directly at chat. Is there also chat on screen on the stream? Yeah. Okay, you guys are right there. Okay. Sorry. first stream in a while. Hopefully on subsequent ones it won't be so bad. But anyway, we're gonna be doing some C game dev today. Yeah, and basically I'm gonna assume that everyone kind of saw the last video, and I'll just show off in the start here just to give some context, things that have changed. I think today we're gonna be adding like buttons, and I have my list here of to-dos. We might be doing buttons, we might be doing like sector triggers, door interaction. I have a bunch of stuff, and we're definitely not going to get to all of it because I'm not going to be here for like 6 hours. But you know, we'll see what's most fun. What game is being made? This game, currently running in my reload host. So you'll notice that there are. Oh wait, I'm going to move it out. So, let me just mess a second with the window centered. There we go. I'm gonna make things a little more visible for everyone when we launch the game. I'll I'll do it like 1600 by 900. I think should be good enough. I can't kill the game from there for some reason. Yes. How long have you been coding? I also got that chat on the Patreon Discord the other day. Ah, okay, this is visible enough for everyone. 14 years, I think I calculated. It looks like Gold Source. Thank you. It's supposed to look a lot like Gold Source. Anyway, this is the engine. This is what things look like right now. So you'll notice there are some new things since the last video. In the last video I got these portals working, but now we have wait, let me throw up the gamma in case people can't see it. I will look a little bit messed right now, but where to start? I have worked a lot in the last 2 weeks on this. Where do we start? Okay, I guess the first thing you can probably notice is slopes are in the engine now. So the engine didn't previously support those, but yeah, now we have slopes which mesh properly and look good. They work a little bit different from the build engine, which is what I'm mostly basing this off of. So you can see in like the 2D view here that we have, which sector are we on? There's our camera, the little green thing there. We're looking at this sector. What was I talking about? It's distracting to have the chat in the side. It's just running in my peripheral vision. Yeah, we're looking at this sector. You can see that sectors are like just made up of you know, a series of sides here. Those are these little normals that are poking out. And the way that these slopes work right now is you can basically for each plane, so you have the ceiling plane and the floor plane, you can hit this button to select a side to like base the sloping off of. So like right now we have a slope of minus 0.379 radians, which is some multiple of pi over 12, I think. And then yeah, it goes based on that wall basically, and you can snap to near values of pi over 12 or 32 or something like that. Yeah, and then you can pick which side you want to slope to. You can also do one of my favorite things that I've added here is if we zero out the slope, there's this reach thing where you can hit, and I'm gonna bring this over here so you can actually see the cursor modes and hover things changing. But if we hit reach here, we can reach down to another plane, which is very helpful for making it so that planes have the same like I'll do the example over here, I guess. So if we take this sector and we raise the floor a bit, and we have these two sectors because like, I don't know, we want this one to be like way darker than this one, right? Or maybe have a different texture. We can go in the editor here, take this one, and then say, I want your slope to be based off of this side. And then we can tell it to reach down there, and then they will be perfectly seamless, which is pretty cool. I've used it to build this hallway, which isn't meshing correctly, but you can see there are like little if we look at the way this looks in the editor, it's like these sectors in this hallway, and you can see that we've done this with the reach tool. These are just reaching down here, and that will just modify the angle in engine using some simple like trigonometry basically. Oh hey, Chatterbox, fellow game development YouTuber, welcome. Sorry, I feel like I want to like get started with the stream, but I also want to answer everyone's questions. Do you know how many lines of code the project is? 27,000 right now. I think that might be counting some other stuff though, like extra, because I have oh, I don't think this is counted actually, but I have some like stblib stuff, and some stuff that I didn't write is in here, but generally it's all stuff that I did. What's my favorite Doom monster? I think the Cacodemons are kind of cute. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't been playing a lot of Doom recently. I've been more getting into Quake because I've never really played Quake, and as you can see, the engine is getting, like, with these slopes and things like that, it is becoming increasingly Quake-like. But basically, with the slopes working, I'll show off. If we hit F3, we go into game mode. Oh, let me turn down the gamma because now it looks pretty weird. And a lot has happened for the actual gameplay. The handgun is still here, and I hope you guys can hear the sounds. But yeah, now there's, like, you can probably see on the camera, there's like a side-to-side tilt when you move. This is my hand currently in the game. This is also my hand. If you press Q, it comes up and points, which will be very important for these spinning wheels that are currently broken. But they do spin, which is pretty cool. Yeah, I guess while I'm at it, there are doors now, so you can hit these switches, and these are vertical doors. This one is a sliding, like side-to-side door, and this one is a swinging door, and those are all configurable in the ladder. Yeah, the side tilt is cool. Yeah, the side tilt is easily my favorite thing about this camera. It comes a little bit from, like, Quake, but it's also from watching just Miz, I guess I'll call him. He's the, like, boomer shooter style game that he made, Rot Flesh. Has really good devlogs if you, I mean, you guys are all probably familiar with them. But his game had, like, this side-to-side camera tilt, and I just thought it added a lot to the movement. But in addition to that, there's also, like, slight camera bobbing. You can see the camera move slightly up and down as we move. And then there is, what else have I added? Oh, there's screen shake. Oh yeah, so I'll take you through the weapons. So right now, can you bug yourself outside the map with the sliding doors? No, you cannot. Actually, I don't know. Right? Let's test it. I'm gonna put myself in this door. I think you might be able to. Me. No, you get pushed into the map. I think there's some code. Oh, but now we're trapped in here. I think there's some code that clamps the object points to, like, if they're trying to move, to be inside of sectors. Yeah. Oh, we're not trapped in here, actually. I added support for false walls. So this wall you can actually run through. That was added with support for these. You can see there's another sector, like, through this grate thing. NeoVim theme? My NeoVim theme is gruvbox. Gruvbox. My NeoVim theme is gruvbox. Yeah, but you can see that we're in the test level still. And a few things have changed, of course, since yeah, there are these wheels which are, like, interactable decals. They also properly calculate, like, where they've spun to in terms of, like, the numbers. Do you speak Danish? Yes. But this will be in English. Now there are sprites in the engine as well, so these ones don't have, like, any physics or anything. This one is a blocking sprite. There's a lot to show off. The portals still work, obviously. In terms of weapons, we have the handgun. Oh, I also added weapon spread. So, like, so right now, if you hit shift, I guess I raised my hand, but you guys can't see the keyboard. If you hit shift, there's, like, a slight FOV effect, and then your aim gets better. And you can see right now we're shooting quite wide, and now we shoot reasonably on target. And there's a slight upkick on the handgun, as you can see. I do need to, like, fix the animations and everything like that, and someone the other day said it looked quite deep fried, and I honestly agree. So I need to, but I'm not worrying about graphics right now. I know there were some people in the engine talking about, or in the chat talking about how it looks like garbage, and it's going to keep looking like garbage for a little bit. While I'm just working on gameplay stuff. You haven't even seen the enemies yet. They look way worse. But yeah, there's also nice movement on slopes. That took a few days to get right, but everything works. Yeah, so we have the handgun. Then the second one, the second one is a grenade launcher, which currently show normals from where they hit. And there's a slight sound, and you can see all of these things actually have physics on them right now. What Doom games have you played? I played Doom 1 and some of Doom 2, and none of some of Doom 2016, I think. Anyway, there's a grenade launcher, bounces perfectly off of slopes and everything like that. You know, you can shoot grenades through portals, of course. Yeah, it's fun to play around with. Basically, the physics from the knockback. You can also notice there's a slight screen shake effect, depending on. Oh, what is that? Oh, that's the wheel. Oh, sorry, I thought there was a bug. Is rocket jumping going to creep its way into this game? Yes, I wonder. There's already grenade launcher jumping, of course. I don't have anything in this level where you can really try it, because all the ceilings are too low. But if we really quickly, let me just really quickly build something. I'm gonna hop us back into editor mode. Let's do this one. Let's just take the sector, crank its ceiling height way up, and crank its floor height up to something that we wouldn't normally be able to reach. Give this. Why is that apply button not working? Oh, that's because I'm applying the shade. Okay. Yeah, then these will get the same ceiling height. So this is obviously may also brighten things up. Here we go. Yeah. So if we do this and then we I actually accidentally just took a screenshot. Oops. Okay. If we go back in here, switch to the grenade launcher. Oh, I'm terrible at it, but you can grenade jump, which I think is pretty cool. Yeah. So, and there's like jumping and everything. Yeah. There is currently no sprite for the grenade launcher though, just because I haven't gotten around to adding it, and because I'm not sure that it's gonna like stay a grenade launcher. I have tentative design plans to actually make them water balloons, but you know, we'll talk about the design later. The Moire effect is strong with this one. Oh yeah, these like test side textures are really bad for the Moire effect. The last weapon we have is the shotgun that I've added. This is just using sprites from Free Doom, but they just have like spread. The shotgun's got slight like kickback. Yeah, you can see things go pretty wild if you're not like aiming, but yeah, that is and again, everything is test sprites. That's what I've worked on in terms of weapons. I've also done some just as I run down this hallway, I've also done a lot of work on how do you add shooting without dynamic arrays. Oh, there are a bunch. We'll get into the code in a second. Sorry, I've been live for how long have I been live for? And I haven't even shown any code. I'm sorry. 22 minutes. Okay, that's not that bad. I'll show off the code for all of this stuff that you guys want to see in a minute, because there's just a lot of changes. But anyway, if we hop back into the editor, we can start adding some enemies. So hit slash, and then I'm gonna hit O for a new object. And right now they just have like placeholder names, so they're called Invader, Grunt, Berserker, Raider, Spider, and Sprite and Door are the other two new ones. But we'll start with some invaders. I can't remember exactly what these guys do in terms of AI, but we'll try them out. Okay, these guys are a little silly. I think right now they move quite slowly. They, I guess, all stop and try and shoot you in sync. And their aim is also entirely wrong. So we might be debugging. I think I broke AI aiming earlier. It looks like they're pathing towards me properly. And they will like also, I don't think these guys melee you. But anyway, this is, I swear to God, the AI was way better like 2 days ago before I apparently broke things. Yeah, so those are invaders, placeholder sprites, obviously. Then we have grunts, which are melee only. So I'll show you guys grunts and berserkers. We can change these two guys to berserkers. I'll show off some more of the editor functions as well, because I think I'm quite proud of my custom 3D editor. Yeah, so these guys are melee only. So what they do is the berserkers will basically like try and get close to you, and then at a certain distance like that, they will try to charge you. They're not very good at it right now, but I think it's quite cute. This guy just tries to get close to you and melee you. And if they're close enough, they will also just melee you. But we can just shotgun them right now because we don't take any damage. Where's the last guy? There he is. Oh, he did get me with a single charge, but anyway. Then we have what are the next ones? I'll wait to show off spiders. Raiders. What they're called right now, they shoot quite a bit. And also all in sync with each other. I think I need to add some randomness to the targeting there. But they will basically, they will try and go after you. We'll see if they follow me. I think that I really messed up something with the pathing the other day. So I'm not quite entirely sure what is wrong there. But yeah, basically they'll try and shoot you. And they also try and keep distance. Like if we move close to them, you can see they kind of try and like back away. You know, so hopefully the idea with them is that they will be an enemy against which the shotgun is not terribly useful unless you get up really close and take a bunch of damage, as you can see I will be taking right now. You know, if it were that there was actual, that we had actual health. And then the last enemy, and probably my favorite, if we can fly up here, are the spiders. So these ones are the ones that took the most. I'll just add a bunch of these guys. These are the ones that absolutely took the most work to add. But you can see right now they've just got a placeholder sprite, basically. Yeah, I guess I'll just show off their AI, and I can talk about the code in a minute. Oh no. Okay, well, it looks like we're talking about the code right now because it just crashed. And we have an undefined behavior report. What is going on? Something is trying to get spider act, spider tick. Spider. Yeah, welcome to the code. I'm gonna fix this bug so I can actually show things offline. 274. Sector get point Z. It looks like they're not in a sector. I don't know why these spiders aren't in a sector. F7P actor. I'm also running everything. Yeah, 2 hours of bug fixing for real. I hope that this wouldn't happen. Okay, looks like the object is out of a sector. So I think what I'm just gonna do to fix this is bad. We're just not gonna have the spider tick if it doesn't have a sector. And then, oh, I'll show off the live reloading here. If we rebuild the shared library, that it's not live reloading because it's crashed. I'll show that off in a second. Okay, spiders, please don't crash. Why did it crash again? Float cast overflow. Okay, one of my spiders is really messed up. Oh no. This sucks. This is probably why I should have tested this stuff before I wanted to show it off. But you can see they're trying to path towards me, but they're just not moving. And I think it's because they don't have a sector. Okay, I guess wait for the next video, then I will be showing off spiders. That's really disappointing because the spiders are very cool, I think. But I think there's just some issues with them right now. Yeah. Unfortunate. Time to delete spiders. That sucks. just delete the last of these so that we don't keep crashing when we load. Anyway, yeah, that's about what I've added. And then in terms of the there are also a bunch of new things in the editor, like these sprites. Of course, this is also a sprite, so sprites are also objects, as you can see in the editor here. They can be blocking or non-blocking. Like this one, I think is, yeah, as you guys saw earlier, is blocking. Physics, angled sprites are sprites which are like static. So you can see this one isn't angled because it like twists around with us. And this one is angled. So it's a two-sided sprite, which we can modify. Oh, that's not the right thing, which we can modify with this. We can also do like make it the same as sides or tell it to face me like the current camera. And then I also, this is just something I did yesterday, actually, yesterday morning. We can modify the textures, hue, saturation, value. So they're HSV and then alpha. So you can even make things, you can see this one is transparent now because I've got transparent sprite sorting in there. Yeah. So that's that. In terms of like, there's also a bunch of new stuff in the editor with doors. These ones are actually so doors are actually meshes. So if you go into pop into the wireframe mode, these doors are sectors. As you can see, if we're in wireframe mode and then we go over here, you can see if we hit the switch, the sector geometry, that triangle there, that one, you might not be able to see it on stream, but that triangle geometry changes because they're actually like, these things are modifying sector geometry as they, yeah, you can see this triangle gets like bigger and smaller, right? These doors though, so you can, it's a door right here. You can see it's just clipping out of the level now, right? So you can still see the triangles. They are just 3D meshes. Because I was going to do sector doors, but like this just seemed like a more flexible thing when I'm already running in a true 3D engine. The wireframe mode is beautiful. Oh yeah, I really like looking at the wireframe mode. Yeah, so true 3D meshes. There are some bugs with the doors right now in terms of collision sometimes, but that is not what we will be fixing today. But they do stop bullets, and they're also like particles that come out of them, because right now the gun decides which particles come out of what the bullets hit, which is wrong. But I just haven't changed it yet. You can even, if you go here and we shoot this spawn. Oh, the spawn, I think I turned off collisions for it. This thing, I think we'll have. No, okay, we can't shoot any of this right now. Man, I think I really broke stuff. No, okay, there we go. Now there's some gore particles coming out of the out of that thing. Quite hard to hit though. I don't know what I did to change that. Yeah. So I think now, before we just like hop into the code, I think I will take any questions that people want to ask me about this, because I think that's kind of everything. Oh, I just reloaded the level. Oops, I was meant to press F3. How do you organize the ideas or requirements that the game needs to have? I have a bunch of lists that look like this, basically, and then I have an overarching design document that I will talk more about in my next video, I think. Okay, yeah, don't spam in the chat. That's not cool, dude. Yeah, I basically have big lists like this that I use to manage like day-to-day sort of tasks, and also diagrams of random geometry things. And then I have like some design documents for what the game needs to look like in the end. But as opposed to my previous project, I'm really trying to actually get this one done. I don't know, you guys probably can't really tell from the YouTube channel. I do kind of want to ship a game in like a number of months and not years. what is true 3D compared to Doom style 3D? So I used to have a software render. That's what the first couple videos for this project were about. But now it is true. This does use, you can see me set it. It uses Sokal library, the Sokal library, which is quite nice for like 3D platform agnostic 3D graphic stuff. And then behind that, it's using OpenGL, which I saw someone asking a question about. But OpenGL is totally fine to use on Mac. I know it's deprecated, but you just need to where is it in here? Deprecate. There's some yeah, GL silence deprecation is all you need to throw in, and then your things will stop complaining. Yeah, the warnings will go away. Thoughts about Vulkan? No way. Sticking on Sokal. You need an artist? No, Rhino, I'm sticking with myself, but we'll see if that if that ends up changing. Yeah, will there be fake floor deep water effects? Oh, that's one of the things on the list that we might be doing today. There's like liquid planes, which I think would just be like, you know, if we look at like, right, like let's say we wanted to add some water. I will unslope this real quick. And then if we wanted to say, add some water here, I would probably have the collision still rely on this plane, but then just render like a separate floor plane up here. So that's something we might be doing today, but I'm not quite sure. Does using C feel limiting? Not at all. It feels actually quite freeing. You don't need to jam all of your stuff into objects, and it's just like the code does what it says it does. How's the game going? This is how the game is going. Is it BSP based? No, there's no BSPing going on, but the most more, I guess, like build engine style in that respect. But there is we do have sub-sectors, which you can see here. So each like larger sector, because they can be non-convex, gets divided. Like, where's a good non-convex sector? Oh, these ones are very non-convex, right? Yeah, because they have like holes and stuff. They get divided. So sectors will get triangulated like this. You can kind of see here. There's a bunch of extra information here, but sectors get triangulated, which I talked about in my last video, and then the triangles get merged into not a minimal, but like an okay convex like set of convex shapes to represent each non-convex sector, because it's faster for a lot of like sightline processing and stuff like that. Do you think dealing with headers is frustrating when coding C? I used to think that, but I really don't actually anymore. I think dealing with headers is frustrating with C++, but not with C. Have you ever thought of making a real OS? Yeah, if I was gonna live for like a million more years, I would think about it. But I think I'll live vicariously through the people who make Serenity OS, which you could check out if you're interested in that sort of stuff. Anyway, yeah. Oh, the other thing to show off since last time is I have this like I added this sightline metric to like what sectors can potentially see other sectors, called PVS, for a potentially visible set. Geometry terminology stolen from Quake. But you can see here when we just like highlight a sector, there's like you can see it's a little borked. Like when we highlight this sector, it claims that it can see this sector down here, which it definitely can't. That's just an implementation detail of the method that I'm using for this. But yeah, which is quite nice to ensure that, like for instance, in this sector, if we have this bottleneck here, like we know that we can't see the rest of the level. So if we like go into game mode, right here, we can see a lot of geometry, but then if we go back here, right, and then we slap things into wireframe mode, you can see, oh, there's also a skybox now. It's a little messed up in the corners and stuff, but there's a skybox. You can see that like this sector knows that we can't see other stuff, so it's not going to render it. And then when we go here, this sector thinks it can see that sector, even though it can't. This sector can see a lot more sectors. Yeah, so it's basically, especially with the portals, it's a method of making sure that we're not doing too much overdraw going from sector to sector. Yeah, and then when we go down this hallway, oh, well, things are quite dark over there, but yeah. How do you know when to free your objects? There are no objects at sea, it's just memory. So you just free them when you're not using them anymore. You just don't have dangling pointers. Yeah. Add spheres? Likely not. Yeah, okay. I think, sorry, I promised that this was going to be Cozy Saturday Night Game Dev, but now we have spent 40 minutes on me just not talking about code or anything like that. So sorry for everyone who came from the sea. If you're watching the VOD, apologies, but I hope you just skip to this point if you want to actually just see programming. So, there are a lot of questions. What is the graphics engine? It's completely custom. Ray tracing, no. Why not write this in Holy C? Likely because I don't think it builds on Mac OS. OpenGL flat boulders. I remember the deal. I remember your comment and I remember the deal. I have an agreement with flat boulders that I need to mention them if I don't end up making the next video about gameplay. So that's why there will be gameplay in the next video. I will probably still mention your comment though. Flat boulders, thank you for keeping me on track. How does shooting in particles work without dynamic arrays? Yeah, so we'll talk about the code in a second. So there's nothing in C that prevents you from having dynamic arrays. So like, I guess particles are a little more complicated, but like, how do I, is this code, like font width okay with everyone, by the way? Can everyone see this? Let me know in the chat if this is too small. Mobile viewers, I'm sorry. Just get really close to your phone, I guess. Yeah, okay. I think this is probably fine then. Thank you. Kan du ikke bare forvirre folk den næste minuts tid ved bare at tale dansk? Det kunne jeg godt, Frederik, men altså jeg tror, det er bedre, at jeg taler bare engelsk, fordi ellers så bliver folk bare sådan, altså alt for forvirret. Og jeg tror ikke rigtigt, der kun jer danskere og svenskerne og måske nordmænd, der kan forstå mit dårligt dansk. Men nej, jeg tror, jeg fortsætter på engelsk, så yeah. Anyway, shout out to my Danes out there. +1 font size. Yeah, I guess that's fine. That'll still work. Yeah. Okay. What was I going to talk about? Yeah, dynamic arrays and particles. So we have like, I have this thing called a dyne list. Was that Swedish? Absolutely not. Yeah, I have this thing called the dyne list, which is like, oh wait, let me do screen brush. I literally bought this app specifically for the stream. I need to make sure that everyone can see it though. Okay, does this? Oh yes, this totally works. Okay, I don't know any of the shortcuts, but I'm gonna draw. How do you get out of screen brush? Oh, okay, you need to right click. How do you show it? Command enter? I hope this. No, that option enter? Oh man, what is my screen brush shortcut? Shortcuts. Let me, oh no. Sorry, I just want to be able to draw on the screen. Sorry, just a second. No, oh, it's option tab. Oh, yes. Okay. We're good. Option tab, screen brush. Yes. So, how do I erase things in screen brush? Any screen brush users want to help me out? Okay. Yeah. So, Norwegian, but his accent is very American. Unfortunate. Yeah, we are whiteboarding. This is Alacrity. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so I have this thing called a dyn list, which is basically like, if this is our memory, what I do is we have like our allocated pointer here. So if we want like a pointer of objects right here, this is like our, I just want an iobj pointer. Excuse the terrible drawing. And then here, when we do, this is heap memory. And then when we do the allocation, the dyn list keeps like some data here, like oh my god, I really need a drawing tablet. That's supposed to say length and like, yeah. Anyway, this is how I do dynamic arrays in my C programming. So you can see we just have this dyn list macro, and then if we let me find a good spot where I use one. Where's a good spot to like demo this? Let me show dyn list. Oh wait, now I'm in caps lock. Dyn list push. I guess like here. Okay, so we have this like, we have our render, right? Just this big old thing. And then we have the render stores a list of is that okay for everyone in terms of resolution? Yeah, okay, there we go. And then I'm looking at the stream on the right. So this like line over here lines up properly with things. M1, M2 Intel. This is an M1X or an M2 Mac. No, it's not like a linked list. It's just, it's literally a contiguous list of memory. So I have this dyn list macro, which will, if we expand it, what this type boils down to is this is just a pointer to a bunch of screen tint T's, right? So this is the same as, and this stores all like the list of current things that are tinting the screen, like red or blue or whatever, right? It's not even updating. Oh, updating the resolution. Oh yeah, so I don't know how to fix that. But anyway, so this macro basically declares this, but the key is before, right? Because this is just a pointer, right? This is just some like OX, some pointer to some data in the heap, right? But then like before that pointer at in our heap, we'll have it at like 5 E or F 0, right? Imagine this is 16 bytes here. Here we have something called a dyn list header T, I think it's called, which stores like length, and I think there's a user data pointer on there. So this is like just dynamically allocating arrays in C. It works like a C++ vector, but the reason why you want to do it like this is because then in here, for instance, if we wanted to get the first tint from the render, we just say r tints 0. Right, and this is a screen tint T, right? Because it's still just an array. Like that's the pointer that our dynamic list lives at, is to the start of the array, but then before that, yeah. Sorry if this is poorly explained. Anyway, that's how the dyn lists work. They're also I also have built-in linked lists with a bunch of macros and doubly linked lists, which are used on like, right? So if we look at objects, so these are like sprites and the player and the spiders that crashed and the like dude-looking things that walked around. Have you considered using a free list? There are free lists in multiple places in here. Like the level uses a bunch of like free lists for IDs and stuff like that. But anyway, so objects like sprites and everything like that, in addition to all of their data, they also are in these doubly linked lists of like a list of all the current objects, of all the objects in each sector. So the way we do that is here. So yeah, so you can see sectors store some dyn lists on them. yeah, this is a D list of objects. So this boils down to, yeah, it's a doubly linked list. So it's objects with a head and a tail, right? Pointer to each of those. And then on each object, we store the previous and next. So it just works like a linked list, but there are like nice interfacing functions around it to make it easier to use. Yeah, data structures. I know. You should pin a message telling people to look for. Thanks, Coop. This will. Oh, okay. I'm gonna throw out the Unity bad there. I felt kind of bad about putting that in last time when I was talking. What I meant by Unity bad is Unity, the publicly traded company, but not any of its employees. Bad. If you guys can read that. This is from my stream last year, I think. Oh, this isn't C++. This is entirely incorrect. This isn't even C++. Dot files in the video description. This is C, not C++. That would be gross. Yeah. Okay, there we go. So clarifications up there. Yeah. Caption was back during the robot game era. Yes, exactly. Anyway, yeah, in case you all were curious. Unity, the publicly traded company, but not any of its employees or individuals are bad. But I think the CEO said some stuff about advertising in games that I was not a fan of. Anyway, now that we are literally almost an hour into the stream, I'm going to start programming. Yeah. Yes, C is a subset of C++. C is definitely not a subset of C++, nor is C++ like a superset of C. They are diverged. Not quite super significantly, but in a lot of actually ways that do affect the way that you write code, they are different. What was I going to do today? I have a list of things called stream. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Time to start programming. Yes. Reload host. Yeah, okay, so take a look at this, everyone. Spin the wheel where sound doesn't work because we did a live reload on this. Yes, so we go over here. Remember, we have our 3 types of doors, and right now they only work based on switches that toggle a value between 0 and 1, basically. And they also, you can mess with them like this. Ignore the debug lines that are being drawn right there. But the way this gets set up in the editor, we just switch to the editor, is so these switches have something called a tag, which I talked about in my first video about this engine, which is just a number between 1 and I think the tag max is for 4096. And they just have, so they have their decal, right? So we can just move them around like this. And then, yeah, they have a tag, and then this sector here happens to have the same tag, right? So you can see here that they are both 1. And then if we hop into our editor and then we turn on friends mode, because these things are friends, you can see that this decal here, based on those lines, it's friends with those 2 sectors, which means they have the same tag. And so what happens is when we interact with this switch right now, what it does is it goes switch button interact. This function gets called, and what it does is it takes, so the level stores a big old list of tag values, which are just arbitrary integers for all of the tags. And then it just inverts it. That's what this 1 minus does, right? So like 1 minus, if the value is 0 or false, like the switch isn't triggered, then 1 minus 0 will switch it to 1. And if it's 1, then 1 minus 1 will switch it back to 0. And that is very cool. However, it also switches the texture here, you can see, and plays us 3D sound. That's very cool, but oh, I accidentally just reloaded things again. Glad that my engine is super fast. How memory efficient is this game? I think it quite memory efficient. Right now, there are a bunch of like leaks because I just don't worry about that stuff right now. But at some point, I'm gonna clamp down on the memory model. Also, in terms of like heap allocations and stuff like that, there's a bunch of stuff that I want to be more stack allocated and thrown in bump allocators. But anyway, yeah. So you can see right now the value is 0, and then when the value gets toggled to 1, these sectors start moving, because if we let me do this so that things will be a little easier. So this just gives every sector a different color. You can see we have the green one here. This sector right here has a func type. It's called of diff, which means that it what it does is when its tag, like the tag of 1 in the tag table, is 1, then what the sector does is it like diffs itself down to the sector of our choice. So we say we want to move the floor plane, and then we say we want to reach, which means like we want to reach down to another sector, and then we want to reach that sector, and we want to reach that sector's floor right here. And we want to do it in half a second. Yeah, whoever's saying M-SAN, A-SAN, T-SAN, that is the way to do things. Use your sanitizers if you're writing C. And yeah, so that's like how the sector movement works. So if we select this one, for instance, right, you can see that, let me make this clear. So this window is this sector. You can see that it's highlighted with red, right? The sector that moves up. And this window is this sector. So you can see they're both diffs, func type, and they both have the tag of 1, meaning they're friends with this decal over here. And then if we look in their func data, this one though, right, moves its ceiling, and it moves its ceiling to match, right? It reaches this one in half a second, or like we want to crank it up to, let's have it take 2.5 seconds so we can really just look at it. Right. It's just moving up to reach that sector, and then it waits for the switch to be triggered again. Did you build this engine? Yeah, this is all custom. There's no, I'm just using like Socal for 3D API abstractions, and then SDL on top of that. But yeah. Leaking memory is a feature, not a bug. True. What are the system requirements? This thing could probably run on a potato right now. Yeah, so anyway, this is cool, but what I want to do on this stream right now, because it'd be, I think, pretty easy to follow, is I want to have, like, you know, in Doom, oh wait, can I just boot up GZ Doom? Oh no, I can't right now. No. Come on. I'm sure you guys can hear that. Display options. How do I make GZ Doom not full screen? Set video mode, full screen. No. Okay, good. Yes. I'm gonna pull GZ Doom in here. Game dev resources, I don't really know. Right, okay. So check this out for Doom. If we why am I so slow? Okay, so see this switch right here on E1M1, which we trigger, and then it opens this here to get like quickly through the level, right? Right, and then that goes back down. I hope the music isn't too loud, but the switch turned off. Yeah, which is the important thing. And we don't have that right now. We just have switches that are on and off toggles. So I want to add some new switches, basically. Is what we'll be, yeah, that's what we'll be doing today. Among other things, so that's going to take like 5 minutes, I hope. Oh, I think did my music stop, or is it just really low? Oh no, it's still there. Yeah, there's no audio. Wait, there's still audio on the stream, right? And everything? Or am I going crazy? I think I'm gonna, oh, I can't change the stream latency right now. You guys can still hear me though, right? Hear you, but nothing else? Weird. Oh, the screen capture is muted for some reason. Why is the screen capture muted? You guys totally should have been hearing music and audio during that entire thing. My apologies, just a second. Why isn't the screen capture audio working? That is unfortunate, and I don't know why that's happening. I shouldn't be messing with it. Oh wait, there it is. Is the audio there now? Now OBS says that it's got audio going. Ah, good. Okay. Is the music at an okay level? Or is it like too high or too low? Yes. Yeah, my apologies that you guys couldn't hear the E1M1 soundtrack. That's really unfortunate because I was, rocking out to it in that moment. We were the brief second where we played Doom. Anyway, though, I want switches like that from Doom. Yeah. So that's what we're gonna be doing. So basically, let's start with this. What we're going to be doing is, so you can see this decal here, right? Right now its type is switch, and we actually already have a type called a button, and that's defined this def.h here. I'm going to not pay no attention to the fact that I'm using macros to define my enums. That's just for nice stringification and stuff like that. But anyway, right, so we have placeholder switch button wheel. And if we go to here, you can see that these match up with these types. Placeholder, switch button, wheel. These are just the type of the decal. So it affects nothing except like it's like how you interact with it, stuff like that. All right, let me move that back down to player height. Yeah, and so what I want to do is I want to change this to button. And then I guess we'll change the texture as well to, I think I have some button textures. Oh, those are borked. Okay, first we're gonna go to GIMP. Yes, this was a little behind the scenes. This was the stream icon or thumbnail that you guys already have seen. Oh, why did that? No, I just want to open a file, GIMP. I can't move the file open dialog over there. Okay, I'm just gonna hope that I'm not gonna go into any of my personal stuff here. Very carefully. Projects, mind, res, sprites, but 0. Yeah, okay, let's add some switches. So we need to separate these into two textures real fast, and they're 16 by 16. So let's really quickly do 16 by 16, add that, and we'll call that, very carefully, not doxing myself. Right, there we go. What are the buttons? What are you coding design here? I'm assuming not OOP. It is very not OOP. You guys will see that in a second though as we start adding things. I think they're called, what did I call the switches? I don't have a consistent naming scheme for my sprites yet, which I really need to get. I think I'm using D for decal, so we'll do that. The button A. Or let me see, B is on, A is off. Yeah. So we'll call this D underscore button A. Right, and then that's in the off state, and then if we duplicate this, then come in here and do some I don't want the palette editor. No. Do some very quick sprite work. This is our on button now. So I think it was more like this, right? So that like changes sides. There we go. That's our on button, right? And then we'll call that D button B. And we will save to the right spot again without clicking on the wrong thing and doxing myself because GIMP really just doesn't want to use the place. Okay, so we have two button textures. So if we go in here, right, I'm going to show off the live reloading. So you'll notice we don't have button textures right now, but if we press F4, you can see down here all the texture, or there's a bunch of stuff coming out of the console. That's because all the textures just got reloaded live. So now we have D button A, and there's our button sitting right there. Yeah. Sorry, I'm modifying music music levels. Yeah. So that's live reloading, or live asset reloading. The sounds also get reloaded actually, or what really happens is this cache of cleared sounds gets cleared out. But anyway, so now we have button with this sprite D button A, right? Which means it's a decal, and then it's a button A. And so then we have this button type. So what we're going to do is basically the same thing. So you'll notice that, where is it? Yeah, here, this is the switch button interact function, which I will close this down to make it much easier to focus on. Yeah, so this is actually the switch. So the way someone was asking about OOP, so basically what happens, like, you don't have objects in C or any like concept of them, right? So the way I implement this sort of functionality where, right, if we have two different types of decals, right, the wheel is like this thing, the spinning things are the wheels, right, and then button and then switch, right, they're just an enum, right, or an enumerator, right? So the way we do that is we have each of those enum values maps to this decal type T array. And what is a decal type T? It's just a table of functions and flags that define like basically like after or like if you interact, right, this function pointer to interact underscore fn gets called if it's not null, right? So you can see here on the decal type switch, our interact function is switch interact. What's switch interact? Switch interact says switch button interact, which is a generic thing, which I'm actually going to get rid of right now because we don't need it. But yeah, basically what this does is this is just a table that says, right, when we interact with a decal, which is decal underscore type underscore switch, then it calls this interact function, right? And we also get to know which object interacted with us. So all we need to do to, I'm going to inline this real quick. We don't need that. So all we need to do is here to make buttons like switches. So what we're going to do is we're going to come down here to buttons, and then we're going to say when you hit a button, we want to go to button interact, the button interact function. What does a button interact function do? Right now, let's just have it do literally the exact same thing as the switch. Yeah, and then if we rebuild this and then watch this, editor doesn't need to close, right? Just gets reloaded automatically in the background. Now buttons do the same thing as switches, right? They change their texture, everything like that. And we didn't even need to close down the application and open it again, which is pretty hip. Yeah. But the thing that we're going to do with buttons is they are going to turn off after a specified period of time. And the way, yeah, everyone's asking how. I will link it in the description of the VOD, but there is I've written a small, like it's like 200 lines of code, code reloading library. Yeah, which I'll put in the description of the VOD that basically enables all of this, but it is pretty cool, I think. So anyway, that's our button now. So we have our button. Will you add puzzles? There will be some Doom-like puzzles. That's our button. It's calling this button interact. But what we want is we want the button to turn off after some specified period of time. So the way we're going to do that is we are going to go to our decal type, and then decals have this thing called func data. And what we can do in that func data is we can jam up to 64. It's a union of up to 64 bytes each of like data for each different decal type. So what we'll do here is we'll define a struct, and then we'll have the button keep track of like, actually that's not where the button's going to track things, right? So this is our configuration information for the button. And I think what we'll do is we'll have an F32 of toggle. This will be seconds where button stays. Yeah. So that's the number of seconds where the button stays on, and then we want to make this configurable in our editor. So what we're going to do is you can see decal. If we go to the decal right now, and then our button. Right, our type is button. Right now we have no method of configuring this toggle time. So what we can do now is we can go to it's called UI.c, as you can see down there. This is all of the UI for the entire, it's all of these menus are defined in here. But if we go to edit decal func, well, right now it's called func valves. Let me rename that to func data. All right. This is this just gets called by the like decal menu function. So if we add in here to the switch case, decal type button, then basically, so what do we want? We have our toggle time on this decal. So what we want is we want to add a float called toggle time, which is, oh, I need to do some trickery here. Yeah. All right, pay no attention to this. Okay. Decal func data. What? Basically, we just want a pointer to the func data so that we don't have to do this whole song and dance, and instead we have it in our pointer, in this FD pointer. Yeah, and so we have toggle time, and then we want to give it a pointer to the buttons toggle time. The step will make 0.1f or 0.5f. Format is 0.2f, let's say. And what's our last parameter? Oh, it's flag 0. Okay. So now this, if our decal is a button, we can edit the toggle time. And let's check that out. If sometimes a lot of the hard reloading crashes. Oh, but it didn't. See, look at this. Live reloaded toggle time now, and we can modify it. Right. We want to disallow negative toggle times though, so let's really quickly change this actually to a clamped input F32 clamped. Right, and the maximum will be 1e 10 seconds. There we go. Now we shouldn't be able to. There we go. Now we can't go below 0. Any features in C you try to avoid to prevent Bugs or crashes? No. I think C is such a Spartan language. I don't think you can really like avoid any features. I'm even, and I know some people have commented on this in the chat, I am a big, I'm a GoTo fan, which I know is like, your computer science professors will not like me saying, so don't say that you watched my stream if they discover that. But GoTo is awesome for like putting single exit points in functions, or for, I don't know, just like managing control flow. It's super easy to understand, like, right? Like unlike C++ where you have RAII and all of that stuff in object-oriented programming and virtual function dispatch and things, in C, when you look at the code, you know what it's doing. And when I look at goto done, right? You know, I wonder what goto done does. Oh, it goes to done. that's all it does, right? Anyway, gotos are pretty nice. And like super useful. I mean, obviously don't like abuse them in ways that you could use other control structures. But anyway, yeah, back from that. Yeah, so we have this toggle time. Right now it's a little, let me bring this up. Let's do this. Let's just have this, can I resize? Oh, that's a little small. Will that work? How does this look on the stream? Can everyone see that? Oh, that's a little, do this. There we go. And then we can see it in the background there. Yeah. We also want this to be set next input with set next item width, it's called. Then we want it to be of a reasonable width. So we'll do that really quick. Now it is a reasonable width. And there's our configurable toggle time, right? So this is our time that the button will stay on in seconds, which we don't have implemented yet. So right now it's still just gonna act like a switch. So we can go to decal.c, where am I going? Button interact, right? And so what this switch code does is, oh, this is actually going to be more interesting than I thought it would be. So this interact function only gets called when the button gets like clicked on by the player, but we need to have it such that the button like toggles off after a certain time. So we need to like put a timer on it or something like that. And the way we do this is stolen nicely from the Doom engine, and to something that I call actors. You can see we have one right here. An actor is basically just like any element in the level can have an actor, and what it does is it's a function that gets called every tick until it says that it's done, right? So like the wheel actor, as you can see down here for, right, this like wheel, the wheel actor just spins if it gets interacted with. But for buttons, what we're going to do is we're going to have, we need two things actually. If we go to the level depths, we need the button to track when it last was pushed. Right. Int toggle tick. Right, and then what we'll do now is we will do this. When the button gets interacted with, we set decal button.toggle tick is the current tick, and then we're going to go to an actor. In a second though, I'm going to take a quick break. I need to I gotta run to the bathroom, but I will put you guys back on the starting screen. I'll be back in a second. Everyone behave yourself in chat. This is what happens when everything is a one-man show. Sorry, everyone. I am unfortunately only a human. Yeah, and thank you everyone for. Oh yeah, Christian behaving indecently. You're getting banned. I'm sorry. Anyway, yeah. So we have our button here. And what we want to do is we want to add an actor to this button. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna give it an act function. This is basically like a function that gets attached to the button. Like I said, a function that gets attached to this decal that will run every tick, so 60 times a second at a regular tick rate until it says it's done. So reload visible void. What do we call it? Button. And this takes a level. We don't need. Oh, we do need the actor and the decal. Right. So, and what we want this to do. Let me comment this out right now. So when we interact with the button, we want to start calling this actor function. And the way that we do that is we do this actor add, right? So we're adding an actor to the level, and then we have this actor T. And what this is basically all it does is it's a function pointer. So we give it this button act pointer, which is, oh, we need to ask. And I think that's actually all we need. Do we need param storage list node? No, we don't. L pointer from decal. Yes, so actor add, and what this will do will, did he just use the mouse in NeoVim? Oh yeah, I use the mouse a ton. I'm a bad NeoVim citizen. No one show any of the like, you know, there's like a small, you're not small. There's a sect of like NeoVim universe YouTubers, so don't show any of them. I'm sure they also use their mouse in NeoVim. I'm pretty sure I've watched them do that. Yeah, anyway, we're gonna add this actor, which we'll call this button act function. And just to show you guys how that works, we will have the actor, right? So that's this function, remember, getting called once per tick, say tick. And then what it will do is it will say, it will set this flag on its own actor. And what this does is it will actor add. So the next time that everything in the, yeah, don't show Primogen, exactly. It will add this actor to the level, which is just this function, right? Which, oh wait, the parameter needs to be the decal, which is this, oh wait, yeah, which is this parameter is the decal, the pointer to the decal. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, basically this button actor will get called until on the next tick that the level runs, it will say tick in our console, and then it will say that it's done. Why do you use or equal? It's just I mean, it's or equal, so this is equivalent to that, right? But it's easier to read with or equal. Anyway, that's our button actor. Let's see if the live reloader crashes. I hope it doesn't. Rebuilds are quite long. No, it didn't. Okay, cool. So keep an eye down here on this, on our console. When we hit the button, hopefully it's gonna say tick. And it did. See, nothing happens, but there's like our function, when we hit the button, we add this actor, then on the next tick, it, you know, says tick, and then it says it's done. That's not everything we want to do that though. We want to have the button stay on. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna say, when you hit the button, we're going to, let's have it only allow allow you to hit the button if the tag value is 0, right? So only hit you can only hit the button once, and it won't let you like what's the word, like toggle multiple times. So this button only gets called now when the button is off. So what we'll do, yeah, button interact, then we take the decal, and then basically, so remember how I named the textures for this, like D button A and D button B? Those are resource names, they're just strings. So what we do is we change the resource from B, well, let's change the texture, right? Because A is off, so let's change it. Let's, what I call resuffixing the resource, and change it to B. And then we'll also play the click sound. And then up here in the button actor, we will, what do we need to do? If decal, okay, so we want, how many ticks does the button last for? So that's going to be decal button, I don't know what to call this right now. Decal, hard to focus on programming when streaming. Func data, this was our configuration value, right? So toggle time, this is in seconds. So we want to multiply that by ticks per second. Ticks per second to get the number of ticks that the button should be on for. So if the tick since the decal button toggle tick is greater than or equal to its toggle time, then what we do is we basically want to change the tag value back to 0 and change the texture back. So yeah, well, let's just do this. Change the texture back to A, change the tag value back to 0, and say that the actor is done. And that's kind of all we need to do. Can he even speak Danish? Yes. Haven't heard him speak Danish. Danish accent if you're not born with it. Oh, are people talking about my Danish accent in chat? Definitely hasn't. Unfortunate. Oh wait, accent on my English? Or are you saying my English is accented or my Danish is accented? Because I don't think my English is accented. At least if it is, I definitely can't hear it, but yeah. So this is our button actor now. Why does the music keep going up? Okay, back to music. Yeah, I don't think I have an accent, but that's also what everyone with accents says. Oh, I grew up in America, so that explains. Yeah, no, the English is not with a Danish accent. I could hello and welcome to my live stream. Today we will be programming this spill. Yes, that's what I would sound like if I'd grown up in Denmark. Yeah, apologies to Danes that might have gotten offended by my very offensive impression of Danes. Yeah. Anyway, so this is our button actor now. God, I need to focus. Yeah, and this is gonna work. First try, without even reloading the game. So yeah, that's basically what we're doing now. This button gets an actor, and then it turns off again after a short amount of time. But yeah, these are Doom buttons. That was too good. Yeah. So the trick to getting a Danish accent on your English for like the 2 people that learned Danish as foreigners is if you like start a sentence, because you know when you say an English word in Danish, you're like, what's a good like Danish, like an English word that you would use in Danish? I can't think of. Anyway, if you like, you know, when you're speaking Danish, or I'm sure all English second language people do this, where you use like an English word in your speech, you like put the local accent onto it, right? So if I'm talking about like, if I'm talking in Danish, I'm talking about my computer. then I say computer, right? You don't say computer, right? So what you do is you just say, yeah, så jeg skal lige se, så now you just put the Danish in the right place in your mouth, and then it just comes out naturally. Yeah, that's a trick for all you Danish speakers who don't have an accent but want to get one back. Anyway, the button works. Oh, and now we're trapped over here because there's no button on this side. Anyway, yeah, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, that totally works. I think though we want to make this button, oh sorry, I accidentally pressed F5. We want to make this button last a little longer. Let's have it last 5 seconds. Niche, yeah. Yeah, little tricks for Americans who learned Danish. There's your trick for the like one person in the Venn diagram of like other Americans living in Denmark and people watching this stream, like to you. There's your accent trick. Anyway, 5-second toggle time. Go back here. That seemed like 5 seconds. Yeah. Does your UI modify the time for all buttons or just this one? Just this one. What if you stand on the door while it's closing? I actually don't know. Let's try that out. I think I'm on the door right now. I think I will just get... Okay, I guess this is what happens. Now can we move? No, I am very trapped. I think I need to add something that forces objects out of sectors which they're too small to exist. Yeah, you can still shoot from up here. Like the ray casting works great, but yeah. Anyway, so that's what happens to answer your question. Yeah. So there's our and then we can't toggle the button again right now, which I think is how buttons in Doom work, but I can't really remember. Anyway though, what's the next thing on my list? That was buttons. Buttons work now. So I'm gonna do my... Oh, sorry. I think I just got frozen in OBS. I don't know why I'm apologizing. There's nothing I can do about it. But so I'm gonna do my like daily ritual of. You can see here we have under stream. We have buttons. I'm gonna cross it off because we just did buttons. No, I'm not a native Danish speaker. So the other thing that I kind of wanted to add is like similarly, right? With these kinds of doors, some of them I want to be able to go up and like, you can hear me pressing E on the keyboard, but it's not doing anything. I want to be able to go up to them and press E to open them instead of using the switch like this, right? So I think that is what we will do next. So let's see if we can do that while the game keeps running in the background. Yeah, the door as a button, basically. So what I think we want is, so we have this func data on the door, right? This is the door's like this angle configures the angle of the door. The speed configures how many seconds it takes to open. We have if it's a swinging door, and then if it's a right side or swinging, or if it's like an inside. So that's like if it's an inside door, I'll do this relative to the camera. If it's an inside door, it would open like this. And if it's an outside door, it will open like this, right? Like away relative to its angle. So what we want is to add something to this door's func data, as it's called, to let us interact with it. So if we go to our level defs, objects, object func data, where is door? Door is here. And we already have some bit flags on this. How big is this? This struct? It's 12 bytes. Okay, let's just do this. And we'll add an extra boolean called interactable. And then to expose. So now that we've added our extra boolean here, right up there, in order to expose this, to the UI here, because, you know, we can't see it right now. We come down here, we go to objects type door, and then let's have it appear right before swing, and let's just add it like this. IG checkbox, set swing beyond the same line, interactive. That's a big name, but whatever. Let's do it like this, right? And then we can toggle. Is this I don't know how to say it. Imgui, I'm GY. I say I'm GY in my head. So yes, this is the Dear IMGUI library that I use. It's super cool and really works like wonderfully with the hot code reloading. Okay, so now we can toggle interactable on all doors. This one should also have it. Oh, and I guess they're by default interactable right now. So they probably shouldn't be. Anyway, though, now we have interactable. So what do we... Oh, this is going to be more complicated than I thought it would be. Because right now... objects, you can't interact with objects. So we're going to add a new function. So just like the decals, we have this objects type here, which is type information for each OT, right? Each one of these has a different object type, like grenades or bullets or items, the spawn, the player, right? So what we'll do is we will add another function in here called, just copy this, optional player, and then we'll have it interact just like the decals did. Interact with an object T, right? And this will be the object itself and the things that please don't RIIR this. You mean resource? What does RIIR mean? I am sorry if I don't recognize your programming lingo, but I feel like that's something that an acronym that I've seen before. Anyway, objects are now getting an interact function, which we will, if we go to the player. So the way interacting currently works is when we rewrite it in Rust. Oh, I will not be rewriting this in Rust. I don't have a big problem with Rust or anything like that, but the reason why I use C is because if you guys haven't noticed, my compile times are very fast. And that is like the single biggest productivity killer that I found for my old like robot C++ project is it takes like a minute to build. And in that minute you do like, it's like, oh, I need to toggle this value and check if my you know, and also this hot reloading works, which is awesome. So it's like you know, basically everything about my productivity and workflow is about I wanted to say handles on Danish seeping into my English. Det hele handler om at jeg skal kunne arbejde hurtigt. The whole thing is about that I want to be able to like work quickly, and like it focuses on that I want to, yeah, being able to iterate quickly. It's like fast, like, right? Like if I'm doing this and I'm like running around and I'm like, oh, you know what? The camera tilt feels kind of weird. I want more camera tilt, right? Then I go to the render, I go to tilt, tilt max 0.3f, right? Then I go to down here, I hit build shared. Okay. Oh, this build is actually taking quite a bit because I modified a header file, but you know, right? Oh, look, now I've changed the camera tilt and everyone's getting nausea on the stream. Like, that's just, it's crazy good for making games, I feel like, that you can just like, right? Like if I just modify that value, then I go down here and build, right? Look at that. Now it's back to normal. And I just like, I didn't even have to relaunch the game. I just can toggle values. Or like can mess around with values and stuff like that. Do hot reloading. It's so nice. It is such a like a game changer for, well, you know, ignoring the pun, it is a game changer. Yeah. Anyway, and the reason why I haven't even considered Rust or Zig or C++ or Odin or, you know, come with your other C or C++ killer is it is not focused on these fast iteration times. Zig is like the closest I think that I would get, but Zig doesn't have incremental builds right now, which is why I'm not going to use it, because I wouldn't be able to do that, and it's so valuable. Anyway, rant over. That wasn't a rant. I don't think I really rant. Anyway, the way that interact. So we want to make rewrite it in German. Yeah, the way I want to I want to be able to interact with things. So you can't see it right now, but I'm pressing E on my keyboard. You can probably hear it. Yeah, the reason why I don't use Jai is because it's like in a closed beta right now. Not that I don't think I could just like ask and get access to it, but I don't want to write production software in like a closed beta language. Though it does look cool. A lot of things look really sweet about it. Yeah, the hot reloading is done through a dynamic library. Is learning game dev requires powerful PC Mac? No, you don't need a powerful computer to do any of this. This thing would run on a potato. Anyway, so right now, when we interact with something, what we're doing is we're casting a ray from the camera and then like to 1.25 units in front of them. It actually increases if you're looking down, but that's to make stuff like this wheel interactable on the floor. Anyway, though, yeah, we want to basically, yeah, we cast a ray, and so then when we cast that ray, we hit this wall, right? And that's the ray casting is also how movement and everything and like bullets and stuff like that work. Anyway, that only works on decals right now. We want to be able to interact with objects like this door. So what we're gonna do is interact path resolve. So this is the function that gets called every time that the what is your opinion on writing variable names, comments, and non-English? I have the word labalösning in here because I don't know how to translate it to English. But it's my code. Oh, sorry, I dropped my pen. It's my code, and I know what a labalösning is. So I'm not really, you know, I guess it just depends on your team. I have worked on like, in my last job, I worked on like a code base that was from the 90s and originally written in Danish. So, anyway, generally, if your code is, I don't know, just probably write in English. It's the language that's most comfortable for you, I think. Yeah. Oh, Swedes. Swedes invading my chat. Anyway, man, it is really hard to focus. We're getting nothing done on this stream. Okay, interact path resolve. This is the function that gets called for everything that the raycast when you hit E hits, right? So this thing is getting interact path resolve. And you can see what it does is it calls that decal interact function, like if this is a decal. What we're gonna do is we're basically just gonna copy that and make it work for objects. And I think we can literally just do that by doing S decal object G. Like this. Const, or no, not const. Object, oh my god, I cannot type. Object T, object this, hits, object, pointer. Then we want object type. Oh, we want this to be called hit obj. Hit obj type. And then we want to hit obj and then data object. Data success is true. Okay, so now we should be able to interact with objects. But we won't be able to tell. So we're going to go to door and then add an interact function. Do I have a Discord server? Yeah, I have a Patreon Discord server. For I don't know the amount in USD, but I think it's quite cheap to join. Yeah. I'm quite active in there. Oh, I also post like not daily, but reasonable often, like progress updates in there. I'll just drop in videos every so often. So shout out to everyone in the Patreon Discord, basically. I like seeing all of your projects and everything you talk about. Anyway, door interact, level T. Give our parameters names, and then we're not going to use the target or the what we came from right now. So this is going to be our door interact function, and right now we're just going to have it say I am a door and you interacted with me into the console. Except we're going to spell with. What did I just do? Remove fear. I squealed live on stream. My apologies to everyone's ears. I'm a door and you interact with me. No, the code is staying in mostly English with the occasional Danish comment. Right, so we have this door interact function now here and here. It's just going to say I'm a door and you interacted with me down in the console, right? And so much like, yeah, I think I showed off, much like decals, the way that we modify behavior for objects is we have this table which defines all of these object types and their functions. So all we're going to do down here is object type door is now going to have an interact function, which is door interact, which is, oh my god, why do I keep moving? Oh, I think I'm accidentally centering the window, like hitting something, and I have not a plugin, what do you call it? Something that sits in, I have an app that does that. Anyway, door interact, it's going to say I'm a door and you interacted with me. This should work now unless I'm missing something. So we rebuild and reload. Yep, there you go. You can see now every time I hit E when we're near the door, it says, you can't see that it's updating now, but it says I'm a door and you interacted with me. Yeah, Old Church Slavonic. That's a very Danish name. Yeah, okay, so cool. Now we want the door to swing open. If it's, oh yeah, so what we really want to do is if we want to do door dot, or func data door dot interactable, right? We only want to be able to interact with interactable doors. And then what we're going to do is this. So door. Oh, this will be interesting because the door needs to be interactable regardless of whether or not it's like tag changed. So I wonder how we're gonna do that right now. Like, do we want? I think we're gonna do it like this. I think what we're gonna have it the door interact. So like the tag system is quite extensible, right? So like right now, like this set of objects, right? Like this thing, this switch, and this door, their tag value, which remember is just some integer, is 0. And then when we hit this, their tag goes to 1, right? And then the door sees, oh, my tag is 1 now, I need to be opening. And then now the tag goes back to 0, and then it says, oh, my tag is 0, right? I need to be closing. But it could be quite nice if using that tag system, you could detect if doors were like opened, right? So I think all we're gonna have the interact do is do this. It's just going to toggle the tag value. Level tag values, right? And we're going to use that same 1 minus trick. So that like, so right now when we interact with this door, this switch will also change. But oh, why didn't the switch didn't change because it's not based off of the tag value. I need to change that. But anyway, yeah, so now doors are interactable. And the switch also is broken because we need to change the way that switches work now. Because so what this switch is only writing to the tag value, it's not reading from it, which isn't great, right? So like, but this door isn't interactable, which is the good thing. This door is still totally normal slidey door. Yeah, but this one we can interact with, and then, you know, you'll notice if we like look up here, we don't interact with the door, right? Just because it's doing simple ray casting. The hand looks weird. Okay, I'll switch weapons. We will start holding the Freedom shotgun. So I think what we want to do is have the here's what we want to do. We want to have the switch respond to its own tag change. Switch tag change. Level T level. Decal T decal. Int int. Right? Those are the. Oh, I can't remember the order of that. Is that the old tag and then the? I think that's old tag. Old value, new value, but we don't even want the old value, we just want the new one, right? And so what we'll do here is, instead of having the texture be changed when you interact with the switch, we will have the switch just do this. So it's just going to update its texture and its information whenever the value in the tag table changes, right? And then if we go down here and we say to switch the tag change, oh, we need to add tag change functions to decals. Which the hand looks like a sausage. Yeah, it is pretty deep fried right now. My apologies. Yeah, so switch tag change. So right now decals don't have tag change functions. So we go to our decal type T, then we just need to add, where's our tag? Yes, here, and then let's do this. Called when tag value changes at present, but this time it's a decal, right? Tag change function, and then we need to start calling these functions. And we do that in tag.c. So the way that the tags work is, again, right, it's just a global table of integers that anything can write to or read from, depending on how they're configured in the level editor. There's this like function which is called on the level every tick, so 60 times a second, and it goes through all of the active tags, and then it diffs them with their previous value. And if they changed, then we can say, for example, right, if it's a sector, right, T sector, and the sector type like response to tag changes, then call that function. And we also do the same for objects. And so now all we need to do is replace objects with decal. And we want to do this. Decal type T. Type is decal types. Right, so we're just doing a lookup in that type table. Oh, sorry, pointer there. And then we want the type there. Yeah, and that will start calling these tag change functions. Oh, I misspelled switch. SWITCH. Switch tag change. Yeah, decal type switch. So now, whenever the tag changes, we're going to call this function instead. And then, but like when you interact with the switch, it changes its own tag, which we'll see in a second. If the live reloading, man, the live reloading just isn't crashing. There's a weird thing where macOS will like sometimes with the live reloading, it will like claim that you've messed up the code signing and then just, you know, fail to load the shared library, which just happens sometimes. But other times you can reload the same application like a million times and it will just work. So sorry, I shot the door. So they still work to interact. Oh, they don't. Why can't you interact with them multiple times? I wonder why. So let's see when the switch was pressed. Oh, this live reloading is also like invaluable for debugging because like I am primarily this isn't software rendered right now. I'm primarily a print statement debugger because I didn't learn to program at like university. So being able to like jam a print statement somewhere and then reload the code and see that print statement work is awesome and very useful. So anyway, the switch is going to say right now it says press and then our tick. So it's not changing back, or maybe it is changing back. I wonder why it's not changing its texture though. Right? It should know that its tag changed. Right? No, it's not getting notified of its tag changing. Why isn't its tag changing not happening? Oh, I think I know what's happening. I think on the same tick, our raycast is going through the wall and we're hitting the door. So the switch is setting the tag to 1, or like it's toggling the tag, and then the door is toggling it back. Right, because this array write is obviously happening. So how do we prevent that? I think we need to stop interacting things when we hit a wall. So so this interact path resolve, the way that raycasting works is like the raycasting will only stop if you tell it to stop. That's what this path trace result is, right? And so what we need to do is we just need to say if we hit a side, just stop the path tracing, I think. And this should, oh, there we go. My theory was entirely correct. But now, right? Look at that. They're like, these things are still friends. So even if, obviously we wouldn't want this in gameplay that like you can interact with the door and use the switch, but like, right? Their tag changes, and then also if you interact with the door, the tag changes. The tag changes as well. But now we have swingable doors, or like openable doors, and I think this one. So this one isn't interactable, so let's really quickly make an interactable swingable door. So this one we'll say we'll have it swing and interactable, and yeah, let's do that. So now this should work, right? And it swings. Cool. And then we can also interact with it and it swings. So there you go. That is another thing. Oh, interactable doors. Pretty cool, I think. Which grenades? Oh, I need to add to our to-do list. So grenades don't bounce off of doors right now because doors are objects and grenades are programmed to whenever they hit an object. Like we don't have any enemies in the level right now, but like if we really quickly add a dude here, grenades are programmed to immediately explode when they hit objects, right? Because you want to be able to just like lob nades at people, or you know, your enemies. They also explode when they hit you after some time. If we can get a grenade to go into us. Oh, that's the false wall, which is why the grenades are clipping through over there. Anyway, though, let's get rid of this this guy. Yeah, so we could actually bug fix that right now. So right, our problem is that grenades are Is this coding a new sub here? This is definitely programming. So we want grenades to bounce off of doors. And the way we're gonna do that is we're gonna go to, in the code, they're called nades, not a grenades, but what do? We have our objects types here, right? And we have this nade, so no, we want to look at doors. Doors, they have OTF, so these are flags for every why do the walls of the door frame go up when the doors hit with a grenade? Oh, so that's some debugging stuff that was basically like, I wanted to visualize oh yeah, so this is another super cool thing about like the live code reloading is like, I have these gonna get slightly sidetracked here, but like I have these graphics debugging functions. So if we do like, for instance, like here, right? So this is in the nade path resolve. So the thing that handles the grenade like bouncing, or like whenever the grenade hits something. Yeah, it's the debug lines, but whenever the grenade hits something, this path resolve function gets called, right? If it's an object or a side or a sector or something like that, right? Or even decals it gets called for, I think. But you can see that we have these normal lines that like appear, right? They're just like for debugging purposes. And those get added. I just have this function which you can call anywhere in the code, right? It's just gfx debug line t, or gfx debug line. And what this does is this adds like a line. I think most, custom game engines will have something like this. It just adds a line to a big old list, and then it says, just like keep the line there for 1,000 frames, just so we can like visualize and make sure the normals are working, right? Yeah, thank you for coming, Christian, to the stream. Precies, hyggeligt. Lige måde. Yeah, anyway, we want to fix this with grenades, and you can really appreciate the screen shake here. Is Roblox, yeah. We want to fix grenades exploding. We want them to bounce off of doors, and the way we're going to do that is we're going to add a tag, or a flag to doors, right? So these are flags on all objects of type door, and we will call it what's a good name for like all things that is inanimate a good word? Like, should we call it inanimate? I'll call it furniture. OTF furniture, right? So this is everything that projectiles like will treat like furniture. Any hair care tips? No, I actually wash my hair way more often than I probably should. So 0 hair care tips. OTF furniture, right? And what this will do is we'll go to object, then we'll go to OT door, and then we will go down here, and then we will say, this is furniture. The door is furniture, right? So now all doors are furniture. Yeah, static object. Yeah, maybe, but I can imagine like static, like some furniture objects that I would still want physics on. If that makes sense. Like right now, doors don't have physics on them, which means like, for instance, like if we shoot a grenade over here, right, these things move, or these objects get pushed around by the grenades, and we do too, and that's because we have physics enabled. By like, we don't have this OTF no physics flag. But doors, there was a very funny bug, which I will actually, I'll show you all. If we turn off, this is how doors initially were, and why I added that no physics flag was because if we add physics on doors and we shoot them with grenades, we can just move them. Which is a kind of funny effect, but I don't think this is so great for like gameplay. Yeah, so that's why we need a difference between static objects and non-static objects. Where's the non-Euclidean geometry? Right here. And here. We can just keep walking through this room. You know, shoot grenades through the portals. Anyway, though, we want to fix this by making the doors no physics, which doesn't actually mean they don't collide with things. It just means that they don't get... Oh, we need to get rid of this guy again. Come on. Which just means that they don't, you know, they don't get moved around. Oh, god damn it. Why did that? Oh, it's because I didn't recompile. Oh, sorry. I think that was the first time I've sworn on stream. My apologies for all of my Puritan viewers. Yeah. Anyway, now they won't be affected by grenades. But what we need is furniture. So we have this OTF furniture that we've just added. And what we want, yeah, no cussing. I'm very sorry if you're watching with your kids or if you are yourself a child. Don't listen to my bad words. Those are bad. Yeah. Anyway, we want grenades to bounce off of doors. Like I said, like 5 minutes ago. So what we're gonna do is we're just going to add a check here. Don't bounce off of furniture objects. If hit object type flags furniture, right? So how do we bounce off furniture objects? Well, let's take a look at how we bounce off of walls. Oh, this is gonna be more interesting because we don't know the normal at which we hit, right? So like right here, we know that our normal is like pointing this way. And if we hit this, we know our normal is up. And then if we hit like a sloped surface, we know that our normal is, this will be a good example, slightly sloped, right? But we don't have normals for these things. We don't have normals for objects, which are models. Which is something I don't immediately know how to solve. I think what we need... Oh, okay, right. So we have... So each thing we get this path hit T, which is like that describes what we hit, right? Oh. Yeah, and so for objects, so this thing is represented by an oriented bounding box. Oh, we do get the normal. I'm just kidding. But so this thing is represented by an oriented bounding box, which is basically like a regular axis aligned bounding box, but it can be rotated in 3D space, right? Because we want to be able to do stuff like this, right? Where the box isn't... Oh, this guy is getting very annoying now. Where the box needs to like still work even when it's not perfectly axis aligned. Is going to be entirely borked now the door just slides. You know, it's not much of a door now. You know, looks kind of cool though. Anyway, let's fix our door. Make it safe. It's the wall there. Just gonna keep getting rid of this guy at the start. So this is represented by an oriented bounding box, which you can see. Yeah, those lines are the corners. So when we intersect with this thing, we get some normal from it. So what we want to do, and it's a 2D normal. So the normal is only an XY plane. I don't have X and Y axis rotation for OBBs right now, and I don't think I'm going to add it because I don't think I need it. Yeah, but anyway, if it's a furniture object, then we need to make sure that it's OBB, or that it has an OBB, which models have, right? So like this thing is a furniture and it's a model. If it's a box, then how do you find the way to calculate the normal? Yeah, we already have the normal calculated. Making a boomer shooter, yes, this will be a very cool boomer shooter. Slightly modernized in some aspects though, which I hope boomer shooter enjoyers like. Anyway, so bounce off of furniture objects. So we need to do the same thing that we do when we hit sectors. So I think what we want to do is, so we want to project the hit velocity, which is, this is a function that oh wait, this might actually automatically handle, I might have been really overcomplicating things. Oh, and then we also want to return path grade retry. I think this will make the grenades bounce off of things. Switch to grenade launcher. There we go. Oh, the restitution is weird. And I don't know why. But now they bounce off of things at least. But like, the restitution is entirely wrong. And I kind of wonder why. So normally the restitution is just, oh, okay, let's zero the restitution here, right, and just project the velocity, and then let's do this, multiply it with the hit normal from the hits no, we want hit object dot OBB normal and 0. And that should make things look right. Not quite. What if we do that before? Let's do this. Const spec3s. Let's calculate the restitution up here, and let's just add it back in to the velocity XRZ and the restitution. Is it because the normals aren't normalized? Oh no, that worked. Oh, they're really bouncy. Oh, but I guess they're just as bouncy as on other things. So yeah, there we go, bug fixed. And I think this should work for, let's try rotating this door. Yep. Oh, that's pretty, oh, that's related to another collision bug that we're not gonna fix on this stream, about objects that span multiple sectors, because these doors are pretty big, right? And so right now it's the object for the door, because you can look at this corner, it's in this sector, but like the majority of the collider is over here. So there's an issue with like, you want to check the collider when you're in this sector and when you're in this sector, but we're not doing that right now. But you know, more or less working with massive amounts of restitution and some slight bugs. Which I don't, what if we just do that? What if we just stop projecting the hit velocity and just do the restitution? Will that fix things? Oh, this thing is colliding like slightly out of, oh, it's because the grenades are like a little bigger than they should be, I think. Oh, that was intense screen shake. Anyway, yeah, let's just keep doing this for now. Yeah. There we go. Basically working, aside from the like multiple object spanning sectors collision bug. And I can also see now that there's a bug, like the texture is flashing for 1 frame incorrectly, which it shouldn't be doing, but that won't be very fun to fix. So yeah. What is the rendering technique? This is just a regular, this is just 3D. It's just triangles. And it's forward rendered, it's not deferred or anything like that. I've considered making it deferred, but I'm not gonna add dynamic lighting. So it's gonna be more like Doom style. Champions League predictions? I don't watch soccer. Sorry, not soccer, I'm in Europe. I don't watch football. Don't tell the Europeans that I said that I called it, they called soccer. Called it soccer. The police might come to my door now and Never asked me for using the wrong word. Anyway, so more Doom look than a Quake look. Yeah, it's gonna be like something in between Doom and Quake. It's not gonna, like, I know the build engine kind of spanned that gap in some ways, but it's like it doesn't have fully 3D geometry. Like, it won't allow for fully 3D geometry, but like, you know, this thing is just a 3D mesh, right? And I think there will be like room over room support, right? Moreover than it has. Yeah, U8 is unsigned 8-bit value. For those asking in the chat, but like this is already something that Doom couldn't do, and I already have. I wonder if I have anything the build engine couldn't do. I don't think I have anything the build engine couldn't achieve right now. Oh, I guess the screen tilt, I don't think you could do with the build engine, but yeah, triangles rock. That is absolutely true. Yeah, I believe I just, yeah, I know Chatterbox, local European, don't report me to the EU. We're calling it that. I also see there's a discussion about move semantics going on in the chat. Comments on move semantics, just use C and then explicitly move things. Yeah. Anyway, so that's right. Okay, we got another thing crossed off of our list here, which is door interaction. Oh, I can see my OBS is slightly behind. Anyway, door interaction gone, crossed off. We have liquid planes, dialogue system, exploding enemy, confetti cannon, dart gun, and ticket UI or font system still remaining. I think what I want to do is I want to really quickly add liquid planes. If we have to, I'll at least do the rendering. This is like System Shock. I don't know. I haven't looked at System Shock. Yeah. I think we'll really quickly add. Yeah, liquid planes. How easy would that be to add? Yeah, so what I want to do now, as like the fifth thing that we're gonna fix in this stream, probably the last. I want to be able to add liquids like water or something like that to this plane, which will or to this sector, which will basically make it so that slope is bothering me. There we go. Much better. Basically, we want to add have the collision still be down here, but have like the plane that it's being drawn on be like up here. That makes sense. Like the floor plane should be drawn here, but the collision should be happening here. Are you gonna fix the distortion pattern on farther out textures? Yeah, that's just happening because like you'll notice the effect doesn't happen. Like if we change all of these textures to use what's a good texture? I don't have a ton. Like this one, right? We'll use this this brick texture. They don't get distorted at like far out distances, right? That moire effect only happens because of the like contrast between these lines on this texture. But it is of course just like a placeholder. So I know I just changed that texture and the level got 10 times uglier than it already was, but yeah. Anyway, will you add milk? Possibly. Yeah, anyway, well, I want to add next to this spinach decal. Oh, that's broken. Oh, that's very broken. Okay, next to the spinach decal and this decal of my hand pointing this way, I want to add like a liquid plane, so some water. So let's really quickly go into GIMP and not open anything. We want a new texture. Oh, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm going to steal a texture from Freedoom which is what I've been doing for all my like development textures. So FreeDoom is like a completely like free software, to my understanding at least, a completely free software re-spriting and leveling of Doom that runs on the Doom engine. So I think okay, there we go. F-Water 4. Yep, this will be what we're using for our water. I've just yoinked it from FreeDoom. Yeah. Anyway, if we go here quickly again without doxing myself, resources, sprites. Let's call this one x_water. X is the prefix I give to things I don't know what to call yet. But so let's, if we really quickly just reload resources, then we can add a new material to this sector, and then we can make its bottom texture. Oh, sorry, I made it ceiling water. Let's have its ceiling be that, and it's that texture be water, right? But this isn't so good because I want the water to be up here, and right now if we walk down here, oh my god, go away. If we go down here, then we're just like on the water, right? So well, I can't get out of here without grenade jumping, I don't think. We want the collider to still be down there, but we want the plane to be drawn further up. So I think the way we're going to do this is make the water transparent. Oh yeah, I don't know about, there's support for transparent, like I think, yeah, we made this one transparent earlier. There's support for transparent sprites, but there's no support for transparent flats right now. Like technically you can, if we take this here and then we override its properties, you can make things like transparent, but the ordering isn't always correct. Well, I guess this is a terrible example because it's actually working just fine right now. But, you know, transparent things are there, but you need to do transparent sprite sorting and stuff like that. So that won't be something that we're doing right now. How did you make your game look old style? This is being rendered at a 384 by 216 resolution and then upscaled with just no filtering, which is why it looks like this. It's an aesthetic design choice. Yeah, changing the textures. Yeah, animated water will definitely be a thing. But anyway, right now, I think what we want to do is we want to add so I have these two things for sectors called cause types, which are cosmetic types, and func types, which are like functional types of like how it affects gameplay, and then cosmetic is how it looks. I think I'm just gonna make water a func type because I can't think of anything else I would want to have like water sectors doing, and they will affect gameplay. So let's just do that. So let's do sector. Oh, that's I need to rename this. Yeah, there we go. So right now the only sector type, right? The only sector func type we have are like these ones, if you remember from earlier in the stream. Like they're the diff type, which means that they, move when their tag gets changed, right? Yeah, water levels draining and stuff like that. That would be a nice effect. So I think I'm gonna make it a func type. So what we're gonna do is we will add. Let me just call it. I'll just call it water right now. I might rename it liquid later on in the process because there will definitely be more than just water. But let's do, yeah, so the func type will be water. And then what do we want to do? We want to have it level depths, sector. Here's our func data, right? So what we want to have is we want to have some sort of offsets, right? Like some sort of offset from, because right now this is where the floor plane is, right? We want to be able to configure an offset from the floor plane to where the how do you rename in all files using Vim? I'm not sure what that plugin is called. Do you like dear I'm imgui dear imgui? Yeah, it's fantastic. I know that nuclear is like an alternative, but I haven't, you know, I don't think there's a reason for me to switch, right? Yeah, so water, we want to have an offset for the water plane so that like the collision can be down here, but the water can be rendered up here. So that's all added to our func data. So now let's make it available in our UI. How do we do that? Sector func data scft diff. Then what we want is just to expose a little button to edit that. Change input F32 clamps offsets. Or I guess we'll call it offset for now. It should probably be called something like water level, actually. But you know. FD offset step, let's make it 0.5f, 0.0f, and the format is 0.3f, the text flag 0. Great. Now we should be able to edit this in our editor. So many includes, there's no way to do an include. No, you can't do that in C. The level include star. That would also like really bump up your compile times, basically. Unless you've already included anything. But you know, includes I have automatically managed in like Clang D handles those for me. So if I like start using something like this UI function, like if I start using, what will be something that's not already included here? Like this VFX draw debug. No, okay, this thing already includes all headers. I'll show them as an example later. I have a quick fix basically for it though. Yeah, okay, anyway, water, now this is editable. If we change our func type to water, now we have this offset that we can modify. We want the input width to be set next item with input width. There we go. Now it should look nice. There we go. There's our water offsets level. And then what we want to do is in the render, we want so when all of these things get like get rendered, I'll do a brief explanation of the render. So sectors and objects and decals and sides all have this, like they have two steps in their rendering, and the first one is called preparing and the second one is like meshing, if they need to get right like meshed. And so you can get meshed multiple times but prepared only one time. This is to make sure that portals you know, use the same reuse data for like, right, like if we look through this portal, this side and this side are, they're like, let me do at this angle. Yeah, this side and this side are the same, so we don't need to have separate data for them. So So that's what like the preparation step does, is like uploads texture and like lighting info and shading and color and stuff like that. Anyway though, so in our sector, we want to basically, if the sector is water, we just want to boost it, I think. So let's add an offset, which is 0. And then if the sector func type is water, then all we need to do is get the offset, and then we add that to the v value. So now this should have an offset, I think, if it's not 0. There we go. There's our our water. And now I think because that's only a cosmetic change right now, we hop down here. There's our water. Of course, nothing with physics or anything like that right now, but yeah, it does work. And then I'll add some detector and like animated. You guys will see stuff about this in the next video. But now we just have this this cosmetic offset for water. Maybe it'll be transparent. I'm not sure yet, but yeah. I don't see him using camel case or Pascal case. No, I use so I used to do all of my types like how do you open a scratch buffer in Vim? I don't know. Does anyone in the chat know how to open up a random scratch buffer? I'm just gonna call it scratch.txt. Let's call it scratch.c. I used to do all of my names like this is a type and this is a variable, and you know, like Pascal case for types, and snake case for variable names, and what else did I do? I did screaming case for enums, which I still use. And then, right, I also used to do, like, I actually came from a Java background, so I really used to do this is a variable, and then, like, this is a function. Right? The tab edit? Oh, hip. Thank you. Yeah, so let's delete this. And then can I do set syntax? Oh, nice. And then you have C syntax highlighting in a scratch buffer. Cool. Or colon new. Thank you. Yeah, anyway. So I used to do this when I came from Java, but like I don't like, this is already not as readable as snake case. And so I moved to doing like this, and then this is a variable. Make this bigger for everyone to see. And I moved to still a streaming case. I get the streaming case because I'm streaming. And then this is a function. And this is how I programmed for a while in both like C++ and C, until literally this project. So when this was a software renderer, like a month ago or something like that, because I was reading so much of the Doom source code to just like try and absorb some of it, I started, you know, when I programmed in C also before, I would do like struct, this is a type, right? Then enum, this is an enum, right? But what happened basically was I did a game jam a month or two ago. Oh, a little over a month ago. I did the, oh, I can't say it. The Ludum Dare, the Ludum Dare, that game jam. And I typed 5,000 lines of C code in a weekend, and I got like RSI in my hand, and I was like, you know, my mortality became a reality for me, and I kind of just realized I need to not type as much if I can avoid it. and I looked at how I was typing things, and then I was like, I think I just need to move to like something like that for like my my hands. This is incorrect grammar. This is no, underscore T is reserved, so I can see chatting about that in the chat. Yeah, underscore T is reserved on POSIX. However, I don't care. That was also my reasoning for why I used to do this, right? Like I used to do struct, this is a type, and enum, and then but then when you're declaring a function, like you're doing like void, tag, change, struct, level, struct, objects, enum, sum, enum, enum, right? I just don't find that as readable as like tag, change, level, object T. Well, now I'm mistyping because I'm streaming. Right? And like I know that underscore T is reserved, but you know, if stuff like starts giving name conflicts, I'll just change the name for the system that I'm building for, right? I think it's just too good to give up this like underscore T stuff on C. It just makes it really quick and clear that this is a type. Then for like, or this is a type def, right? And then for like function pointer type defs, I'll do like type def void, right? Like we have actor functions, so they get the underscore F suffix, right? And then it's really quick to differentiate that like this is a function type def and this is a type def, right? Why even add underscore T and C types are a separate namespace? Well, because you have a lot of things like if you're writing a function that you have like, right? If I called all objects object, right? I'd be writing object is object, like something like that, right? And it's just easier if you're like, oh, the object's type object is this, right? Yeah. Same reason usually use snake case. Yeah, the reason why I stepped away from Pascal case is because I just find the underscores and type names more readable. I was kind of realizing that like, well, it's not even a good excuse that slamming on shift is like bad for my hand, because you know you slam on shift to type an underscore. So I'm just gonna say it comes down to my aesthetic choices. So, and then we'll leave it at that. Feel free to disagree with me, but you know, that's just how things are gonna be. I also went through a phase in the old what's it called? The old code where I would call things like level editor. Like I would use the very old C style of doing no spaces and then like having like int sum there and stuff like that. And that was all well and good until I started with ending up with like I think the variable name was like 2 open pointers, which was like a list of pointers that to like level objects that needed to be opened in the level editor on this frame, right? I was like, this is not readable. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Philip. I'm glad you like the videos. Yeah, this is basically just not readable. What about type defing enums? Enums are also type deft. They just don't have a suffix. I think some people suggested like, oh, you should do like some enum e, but that looks really weird. I feel like I just don't like that. Yeah, 2 pen pointers. Do you have an archive for past streams? I've only streamed 4 times before, so this is my 5th one. Yeah, will you have the source code for this project? That's up on my my Patreon right now. Yeah, snake case for the win, but harder to type than Pascal case. That's a web developer talk. That's Java, anyone that's not used to C talk. Anyway, yeah, I think that's probably gonna about cover it for today. It's getting, I mean, it's not late here, but I'm a tired, cozy boy. So, yeah. So what did we get done today? Not very productive for the almost 3 hours that I've been streaming, but yeah. Oh, Patreon. Oh, there is no Patreon in the description of this. Sorry, I'll add that to the VOD. Yeah, what did we do today? We did grenade collisions on doors. We did interactable doors. We did buttons. You know, good progress on gameplay, basically. There are a lot of bugs to fix, but yeah, that's about it. I guess I'll just if anyone wants to ask any questions about stuff that I've been doing, because I know there was a lot that I glossed over in the start there. Oh, one last cool thing I want to show everyone that I think I added yesterday is now sectors can have different visibility levels, like the build engine, and you can modify their fog color, which I think is quite cool. I'm gonna have definitely gonna have some sectors with like this sort of like dark red fog and like -10 visibility, so you like really can't see in them. I think would be quite a cool effect. Yeah. Are you planning to stream more? Yeah. Yes. This will hopefully be the first of many streams in the next like period of time, because I think it's fun. It's not very efficient in terms of my like game development, because like, you know, not to you know, it's been a lovely time. However, 3 hours for some buttons and a collision fix and moving a plane is not terribly efficient. But, you know, would you recommend learning Make before CMake? I don't like CMake and I don't use it. And it's because the syntax just like, I know the Make syntax is quite arcane, but like CMake seems even more arcane than Make. And Make is the one that I know. So I just use Make files because that's what I learned and they work and I know how they work, right? And CMake, yeah, I don't know. I might switch build systems at some point, but separating the engine code from the actual game and statically linking the engine. Oh, I would do that. I would do that if I needed to, but like, you know, this game and its engine are so intertwined right now. So it, you know, there wouldn't really be a point unless I was distributing the engine separately, right? Would you recommend C as a good language to learn for C# development? Nah, if you're gonna learn C#, just learn C#. I would recommend C as a language if you want to learn C. What font do you use for your titles? It's called Press Start 2P, I think. Press Start 2. Oh wait, let me draw it backwards for the camera. 2E. There you go. If this is, yeah, that was right. I'm looking at myself in the camera. Is there any alternative to Patreon? No, it's just Patreon right now. I don't have a Ko-fi or coffee or anything like that. What do you plan finally for water and other liquids? Yeah, oh, I didn't talk at all about the design in this stream. You'll get more of that in the next video, but there's a cohesive design document for this. So I'll be talking more about like what exactly all this stuff is going to be used for, you know, why these things look like this, and you know why there's this spinning wheel here, and also if we add them really quickly, items, why there are these tickets in the game. You might be able to play the wheel with them, but who knows. All this seems overwhelming. I've been programming for a long time, so don't feel bad if, you know, you might not be able to keep up or something like that, but it can take a long time to learn. But also, obviously, it's more confusing because I'm, you know, showing almost 30,000 lines of code that I've written myself without like showing anyone else, right? Aside from the Patreons, the patrons, but like, yeah, you know, so don't feel bad. Like C code that you didn't write can look pretty whack. Basically, how big is the design document? It's not like, yeah, kill someone by smacking them in the head with a printed copy. No, it's not like Doom Bible level. But it is, I mean, it's decently sized. It's basically like maybe like a, I don't know, it's just in a text file right now. So, and it's also distributed across a bunch of written notes. Like I have, yeah, like some handwritten design notes, and then I have some text files, and then I have some like other like notes apps. So I need to consolidate it all, but it'd probably be like 5 to 10 pages or something like that. When next stream? Soon, I hope. Was the math behind 3D rendering challenging? No, but the math behind a lot of the physics has been not challenging, but not like super easy. I forget exactly what it was that I was doing the other day, but I am very tired of computational geometry. Oh, it was let me close all the windows there. It was why is the grid not showing? I guess because I turned it off. The math for this, like potentially visible sector computation, made me want to never look at 3D math again, because it was just like not fun to try and do these calculations. I'll maybe talk about them on another stream or another video or something like that, because it is a pretty interesting method that you have to use, because even though we have these like convex subsectors, right? If we turn that on, even though we have these convex subsectors, it is still non-trivial to compute if one sector can see another from any point inside the sector. So what are your opinions on other paradigms? I don't know. I don't think in terms of programming paradigms. So I don't really have like I don't know. I feel like anyone that's like very dogmatic in terms of like, I program strictly functional programming or I program strictly object-oriented programming is like, right? Like when you have a hammer, everything looks like a nail. And when you have the Java programming language, everything looks like an object. Or when you have you know, when you're programming in SML, everything looks like a sum type. That's fine. And like there are a lot of situations where different programming paradigms are necessary, but like, I don't know, man. Like the best programming paradigm is the one that gets me the fastest from point A to point B with robust code. And right now that's just, you know, procedural programming in C. So yeah. How do you print logs? Those are done through this. It's just a simple wrapper that uses these macros. So I have log, warn, and error that pass the file, line, and function from where they get called into this function that then you can see the string formatting going on there, so that I can easily keep track of. I wonder why the editor map is saying to us. Oh, yeah, this needs to go. Oh, this all needs to go away. This is some test code from, like I said, I was going crazy with that computational, that like 3D geometry stuff, going insane. That was some debug code left over from that. Robust code, as he said. I mean, C is very robust, and it's like very, like the way that I write it, at least I find, is like very easily changeable. Like you don't have these like things wrapped in design pattern after design pattern, and you're like, oh, I wonder if we're going to be able to move these things around in the UML diagram. Like, you know, like if I want to add something, I just add it. The reason why I like C so much, and why I don't think I want to switch to another programming language anytime soon, at least not one that I've seen, is because like I feel like C is the purest version of like what is the fastest way for me to get, you know, this water plane going on here. Do I have to like, do water sectors need to be like a separate object that subclasses sectors, or like should it be a function on all sector types, or like, oh no, what if I want like walls to maybe be water or something like that, right? Like, geez, then I have to start thinking about you know, like if I should have like some water interface, and then it has a function on the interface that talks about how wet it is. Like, this is what I did. I added an enum. When the value is 2, it means it's water. And then I went to the render, and then if it's water, you offset it. that's it. And there's no extra processing going on there. There's no extra thought on like this like, should this be an object or should this not be an object? Like, I don't think object-oriented programming isn't helpful for a lot of things, or that it's generally bad, but I just think that like the C is the closest that I've gotten to just like thinking my programming into, or thinking my like design thoughts into existence. It's fast and easy to use for me, I feel like. How many times do you get asked about Rust on an average video or stream? 1 billion. You know, the rewrite everything in Rust crowd is very vocal. But after what's recently been going on with Rust, I'm kind of glad that I haven't picked it for any longer term projects, I gotta say. Sorry to all of my Rustaceans out there. Mom is online too. Oh yeah. Ooh, yeah, I'm not gonna get into the whole like clean code or something like that, but let me just say I fall really hard on the side of not that sort of clean code. Yeah, I think the problem with OOP is like, and again, I'm also speaking as a, you know, I was a child during like the OOP boom of like the early 2000s, right? So, you know, who am I to talk if I haven't programmed a ton like that? But Java was my first language. I programmed professionally in C#, and you know, I used a bunch of C++ and stuff like that. So I have worked a lot in object-oriented paradigms, but like, yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's that helpful for a lot of things. There's another thing. I think it's Casey Muratori has a bunch of really good random clips from Handmade Hero where he talks about object-oriented programming. One of the coolest things you can do once you break away from the object-oriented programming paradigm is like this, these things, which is like, in essence, right? Like these tables of function pointers are what you would call an object in like C++ or whatever. But they don't have that like weird vtable thing where the compiler does magic and throws a vtable pointer in all of your objects. And you know, sometimes it's there, but sometimes it's not. If your object doesn't have any virtual functions, you know, whack, which means you can't do like, you know, you have to buy into the C++ memory model, which is, you know, comes with its own massive set of huge giant pitfalls. This was a big pitfall. Yeah, passing functions around is fantastic. That's basically it. Yeah, so like this, and like this sort of what's it called? Is dynamic dispatch the right word? I can't quite remember. Like these sort of virtual functions where it's just looking up into a table which defines some constants and maybe flags and function pointers and other things about various types of like objects, like grenades here, is like you can mix and match in a way that you cannot with object-oriented programming. Like the way that the overrides and virtual functions worked and stuff like that can be quite like box limiting and like boxing in, but like literally all this does is it calls a function with some pointers, right? Like this path resolve, this nade path resolve function is just a function. It doesn't need to refer to grenades at all, right? But it just takes a level, a path hit, some pointer. Let's talk about the on hit function, I guess, because that's less specific to this project. But like a level, the current object, which could be whatever, right? We were just, you know, it's going to be a grenade because it's called on this, the thing that it hit, and then like what happened when it hit it, right? Yeah, I think dynamic dispatch is the right word. So yeah, sorry, I didn't read the chat when I was how much did the code readability change after you started coding for yourself compared to working with others? I don't think my code is more or less readable now than it has been in the past. I think it's equally readable. I don't spend as much time on like cover your ears, Puritan children. Bullshit documentation comments where you're like, object physics. At return. Oh, sorry, this needs to be 3 slashes from the at return. True if the object has physics. At param level. Pointer to the current level. You know, speaking of RSI problems, pointer to the object for which to retrieve the physics boolean. Oh, sorry, that goes on to the next line. Right? Boolean. Nice. Like, I don't think this is helping anyone. Right? So I think my code readability is just fine. I just don't spend time writing documentation comments. Yeah, second time cursing on stream. My apologies. I really hope YouTube doesn't demonetize me. Yeah, in terms of performance on static and dynamic, on like object-oriented languages and polymorphism, I don't really think about it. Like I generally fall into the camp of like your code doesn't, like, it's not like it doesn't have bad performance until you profile it, but like, you know, I get that virtual functions like vtables and stuff like that will crash the cache, but it doesn't matter until you find out that that's the performance bottleneck, right? Like I don't tend to buy that as like it is an argument to be had for not using virtual functions and stuff like that, but generally I think like your choice of algorithms and stuff like that is going to have a much bigger impact on performance. But of course there's something to be said for like larger projects where like literally everything is a virtual function. That can definitely like a 2% performance degradation, and like, right, like if you're writing software for like the AWS, some software that runs on all AWS servers, like when you work at Amazon, right? You know, 2% of, or losing 0.05% of your performance because a bunch of things are going through virtual function, like virtual functions is definitely, you know, that's like millions of dollars, right? And a lot of power and energy and stuff. So opinion on const correctness. I am a const enjoyer. Not as, yeah, on hit fn is a function pointer. This basically describes if you're a grenade, an object object type underscore nade for grenades. What do you do when you hit something? And then it's just a pointer to a function. Yeah, opinion on, yeah, const correctness. Yeah, sorry, I'm just here like rattling off a bunch of like very strong programming opinions. So, yeah. Opinion on const correctness. 5th time I'm answering that question. I used to be more of a const enforcer in C++, but you know, because like this object physics function, like, because unlike in so C doesn't have that sort of like function. Like I can't declare this function twice, once with like different const parameters and another time for const parameters. So this does make it so that I am not as much of a const enforcer in C as I am in C++, right? Because these two functions they don't overload based on the constants of types. Yeah, sorry, that made sense for like the C++ programmers in the chat. What's your programming path? I started with a game maker when I was 6, I think, maybe 8. So, try Zig. I will try Zig when it has incremental build. Yeah. Have you tried Raylib? Oh yeah, I've seen a bunch of people have asked about Raylib. I think I've messed around with Raylib, and it looks quite cool. And I also follow the guy who makes it on Twitter, or they're like the main developer, Ray, I think he's called. You know, it seems quite cool. I could definitely like find on. I'm getting tired. How do you say that in English? Where are my Danes in the chat? Jeg kunne godt finde på at bruge det i et projekt. I might use it in a project in the future. That's what happens when you speak another language for most of the day and then you stream in a different language. At what age did you start programming? I started in GameMaker when I was... Yeah, I could consider... Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I could consider using it and consider using Raylib in a different project. But right now I just don't need it. Yeah, welcome back, Christian. There's no reason you should be using virtual functions in modern C++. I don't know. I mean, like, there's also something to be said for just the fact that they're even available there, right? Like the big foot gun of virtual function pointers is just sitting there, and it's just, you know, it's just one keyword away, right? It's really easy to throw this foot gun into your project, but you know, in C, I think, you know, I think that'll be the thing that I'll end the stream on. Is just like, I think C is really nice to program in because it is, it's hard to shoot yourself in the foot. And if you do shoot yourself in the foot, you get a really nice stack trace that tells you where you seg faulted. That isn't full of template garbage. And that's why I program in C. Yeah. So anyway, I think I'm gonna end the stream there. I'll leave everyone off with, let me do a quick reveal. To keep with the theme of the, where is it?
Listen to me.
We'll end with this. You know, if you know, you know. And yeah, that's how I will
Aria, listen to me.
With this.
All languages, it's a mess. Programming in C is better than anything they got over there. The syntax makes it much sweeter, where objects and subtypes play. But feels like inheritance will only get in the way. Admire C's simple landscape, efficiently dangerous. No templates or fancy pitfalls like Java and C++. Program in C, program in C. Pointers assembly, manage your memory with malloc and free. Don't sync your app with runtime bloat. Software in C will stay afloat. Do what you want there, close to the hardware. Program in C.
Peggy 18.
I basically just said thanks for coming. That's my opinion on programming in C. Yeah, I hope I'm going to stream more often soon. Yeah, I know this is my 5th stream editor. Yes, thank you. No, oh, the chat delay is killing me. Now there is sound. Mike Segwald. Yeah. Yeah, tech illiterate, literally though. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to stream more soon, I hope. Don't hold me to that promise, but like, you know, maybe do. Anyway, thank you everyone for coming. I hope I'm going to have a new video up this next week. Yeah. Enjoy programming in C. And yeah, see ya, everyone. I'm going to actually end stream now rather than saying that I'm going to end stream. So